We are back at it again here with another video with Invest for tomorrow. To the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. To all subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. Helps out the YouTube channel and lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. So here we are with DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Corp. And as we jump into this chart, I stated yesterday how the chart was looking was very exciting. It did pull back a little bit more. We're going to break down the data. We're gonna look at 42 vision on the 1 day and also here on the 30-minute and why these key levels are important going into the rest of this week and also what the chart is showing. So before we jump into it, I want to share with you guys the home run opportunity I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. And if you want to get on early with us every single morning in the pre-market, I mentioned the stocks that I'm watching right before the bell to look for opportunities that you can become part of as well. Check out the link down below in the description to the Discord. We strive for them every single day, and we're going to jump right into it here with DWAC, Digital World Acquisition. So the home run opportunity of the day was spectacular, and if you want to get in on early and know about these stocks in the pre-market with us, check out the link down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining you'll become part of a growing community of investors all looking to learn and grow together. So here we are with the stocks I mentioned this morning. Every single one on their pullbacks and jumps up gave us 3 to 5%, 5 to 10%, but one of them turned out to be a home run even though it was overextended in the pre-market. I was looking for a dip, and in the pre-market it did give that dip, but also I was looking for the dip after the bell, right? And in the pre-market, after I mentioned it, it pulled upwards, pulled back down, hit about 1339, and from that moment forward it hit a highest point here of 1578, and it gave 20% plus of possibility from the moment I mentioned it all the way up to this point. It was almost 30% plus in that area. Now after the bell, in just a matter of a few minutes, it pulled back down and it took off to a highest point of 20% plus in just 10 minutes, guys. If this is something you want to become part of, you want to get in on early with us every single morning and also become part of a growing community of investors, check out the link down below. We look forward to having you join us. Let's jump into these charts. So why was yesterday so exciting for DWAC? I get asked that yesterday by a few people on the comments down below. Why do I always say it's so exciting and what's so exciting about it? So the last time I stated things were pretty exciting for DWAC was when, based off of 42 vision, which is an indicator you can gain access to today as well by joining the 42 vision tier level down below in the description. If you click over on the Discord link, it takes you over, and if you join the 42 vision tier level, you gain access to 42 vision indicator, which I'm about to break down on why DWAC was looking exciting yesterday and back on the 26th, and you'll gain access to the Discord as well as the weekly watch list and daily watch list that I send out every single day and week. Now here we are with DWAC, and what was exciting about it? Well, when 42 vision, right, is showing this type of movement in action, this is pure strength, and this is what allows me to stay in longer in an opportunity than I usually would, because it shows me the strength all throughout the chart. If not, I would have gone out at a point where things started to pull back or look a little bit stagnant, right? Like sit sideways. So this was the date that everything debuted back on the 21st. Mentioned it at $11, and it went all the way up to 53 and shaved off on the position, closed out on it. And you know what? I got back in before after market hours because it was just looking that strong, held through, and the next day it went all the way up to 169. Now in the pullbacks, there's been opportunities, but the pullback I was waiting for, and I even mentioned it in my video, why it was so exciting, was at this area. 42 vision indicator at this area is extreme weakness, and it's a possible reversal opportunity. It doesn't guarantee it, but it's a point where things are starting to get so weak and so overextended that there's going to be a possible turnaround based off of what the indicator is showing in the charts. And exactly that's what happened. Had a 2-day run. Reason for that run was due to the fact that there was a technical setup. 42 vision was showing it pretty clearly and it lets you know things before they happen, right? That's the powerful part about this tool being added to your resources, especially mine as an investor. It's what's allowed me to be able to focus on the dips and the rips. And the main reason that it ran apart from the technical setup was Marjorie Taylor Greene loads up on Digital World Acquisition Corp. Okay, that news created some type of hype and speculation towards it, brought more awareness and attention to it, and that's exactly what happened here with this news and the correlation to the charts. After the hype slowed down, I had stated we needed to look at this on the 1 day and 30-minute to see what's going on. Things are fading away, and yesterday we got confirmation on why it was pulling down. I stated why, pulled up the article, and it has to do with some type of speculation and also indirect correlation to the SPAC of DWAC, right? And also Trump talking about negotiations before even going public, and there's an investigation on the whole entire situation of the SPAC and Trump Media Group. And I stated that tends to happen, especially when a stock has ran up a lot. It's a SPAC, they're trying to short it, trying to put pressure, shake out investors, and you could see the weakness that came up again. It didn't come up until almost 5 days later, right? From the 26th to November 1st. Now on November 1st, it didn't stop there. It went in for a little bit of more weakness into today, but this was a great point to be watching it for a possible trade or opportunity to buy what you would call, quote unquote, the dip. And there you have it. It went from $60 to $54, $6 more down. And then all of a sudden, once that reversal started, which is what it was trying to do here in the pre-market, didn't come with strength. But once it started in the middle of the day, it took off, hit a high here of $68, and it's back above yesterday's points and lows. So when I talk about why it's exciting on the charts, it's 42 Vision itself that's allowing me to see these things. Now, obviously today there was further weakness, but the reversal was coming, and we caught it right here, and you can see it. And this wasn't the only stock moving. PHUN moved, Mark moved, and with 42 Vision, any investor would be able to see, right, the movement of these stocks based off the transitions. Look at this one right here. From way down here on that pullback, it didn't happen until the 26th. You could see that there. I did a video talking about why this was so exciting as well. It jumped up the next day, pulled back down here today to 320s, and today nearly doubled, right? Or almost gave 50 to 80% upside. So 42 Vision is super powerful when it comes to allowing one as an investor to have clarity in the charts, to maximize on opportunities, and you can become part of it as well. You'll gain access to being part of the community, seeing the stocks that I'm watching weekly and daily, but most of all, you will have this indicator and powerful tool in your toolbox and resources to make your own rational decisions as an investor and be empowered through the situations. So after this big run back up, what do we expect now for DWAC? Like, could it continue? So if you zoom in here and we put the 15-minute, things have kind of overextended here and they're pulling back a little bit. You put the 5-minute, the overextension, it all started down here at 55, went all the way up to 68, pulling back just a bit. There's still some strength in between, and there has been some weak moments here of red candlesticks. But if we go to the 1 day, things continue to show that downtrend. And this is what I'm talking about that has been a little bit different from the 26th till now, right? Yesterday, if we had a reversal, it was going to take a lot more strength because this still showed some strength in the charts, even though it was green with red borders. That is still stronger than a red candlestick. So right now, this is still looking like a falling downward trend unless this reverses back up or consolidates in this area and turns back around with red and green borders, or back towards green and then continuing that upward movement in green with blue borders, just like you can see it right here. Very bright, very strong, and pushing with volume, guys. Volume is red. You could see it down here. This needs to change to green. So on the 1 day, It's painting a very different picture than on the 30-minute, but these small movements in the 30-minute and 15-minute are what have to actually come with more strength to push up the 1 day with it. So the support level right now, this needs to stay above $52, $55. Within that range, I'll be watching closely what's going on to see if the bulls try to bring it back up or the bears try to tear it down. And also it needs to break here through 68 to then reach up towards the recent highs of 77 to see if it can break out towards $80 or even $100 after those resistance levels have been broken through. So do keep them in mind. Now, I have shared this in all of my videos. If you're a first-time viewer, I would like for you to hear this out because it's super important. And if you've heard me talk about this, I sound like a broken record, but I want everyone to understand it. So there's some key things going on here with Truth Social and this merger that Trump is trying to actually bring public through DWAC, right? And the most important thing is the true valuation of Trump Media Group is just $875 million, not including the additional earnout on the 825 million additional shares. So when you put it together, it's 1.7 billion, but this half right here is a valuation that's granted, right, depending on the performance of the stock post business combination. So that's not the performance now, it's after the merger. A lot of stocks after the mergers don't really hold themselves up. It could be very different for this SPAC itself due to the fact that it has a lot of attention, a lot of hype, and a lot of following. But it's super important to be aware of that because no favorite is actually in the stock market, right? There is no favorites, no matter how much it's a favorite. After the SPAC merger happens, there tends to be some type of instability, and that's where shorts are actually part of the picture now, right? They can actually short the stock, and the shorts start having positions open, and then it becomes the daily battle between the shorts, the bulls, the bears, and so forth. But it's super important to be aware of this because this valuation can get cut in half. It can actually get multiplied by 2 if it needs to be reanalyzed. After the merger, it will be a valuation total right now of 1.7. That's what they're giving it. But it's not really the full worth of Truth Social in the eyes of Wall Street. You need to remember that as well. They look at things very differently. Now, in the cash and trust, there's also $293 million. So when you put 1.7 and $293 million all together, it gives us $2 billion. I've talked about this time after time after time, how important it is that we are above those levels. And if people want to start looking at this fundamentally and not based off of hype and speculation or hope or driving it up because of further adoption and more people finding out about it, more investors coming in together, Wall Street bets, all of that stuff, it's going to be important to realize that we're not that far from 2 billion and we're only at 2.3 billion at these levels. Back down here at 55, we were really close to 2 billion. And if we fall below it towards the merger date, which is still not out there yet, but once it happens, we fall below it, that can actually hurt the additional shares in valuation that it's granted in that second half here. And if people really want to start valuing this just based off of 875 million, well, this is nearly 100% up above those levels. So it's going to be important to keep all these things in mind and be aware that DWAC is in a position that it needs speculative growth, but also needs to really find a bottom, hold itself up to beat these expectations of 2 billion, stay above it, be reevaluated, and it can probably grow even further. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.